How's it going, guys? It is Ross, and today I'm going to be telling you guys how I braille and label and sort all of my Magic the Gathering cards. I briefly mentioned, I guess in other videos, that I play Magic the Gathering, and so people were like, how do you, organize everything? So I'm going to just show you guys the process of how I do all that. So if you guys like this video, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, let's get into it. So usually what I do is I, have all the cards for the deck I want to make, and so I sleeve them up, so the cards don't get damaged. So like everyone does that. Mine's not much different, but then I have to braille the cards, and there's a lot of ways I could do it. I could just braille the card, which would damage it. I could braille the sleeve, which, I guess that's an option, but I feel like the braille would fade and it would be hard to put into the brailer, I guess you could say. But and the third option is brailing on paper. So first, how do I even braille? Like how do you write braille? And you do that with a Braille Writer, a Perkins Braille Writer, and they've been around for a while, like at least 100 years. And I actually have one right here, and it looks like an old-fashioned typewriter because it essentially is, except it writes Braille. So here you have the 6 keys to write Braille. You have backspace, you have new line, space bar, and then you lock the paper in using these. In fact, I'm gonna lift it up because I'm not sure if you guys can even see that. So maybe you guys can now. But yeah, it looks like an old-fashioned typewriter. And so what I do is I roll in the paper there, and then basically, yeah, you can just begin writing Braille. In the paper I use, where is it? I had a piece of paper. Oh, here it is. I don't know exactly what it's called, but basically, it's just like, it's a little bit thinner than construction paper, like most Braille paper is, because it has to be thick enough for the dots to stay. But with this, they have these little tabs on the back. I don't know if you guys are able to see the outline, kind of right there and along that side, but basically you can peel it back and it's sticky underneath. And so then I basically braille all the card names, all the information, and then I have Sam cut them out for me, and then we label all of them. And this paper, let's see, it cost me $40 for 50 sheets of it. So it's expensive stuff. So like if I have any scraps left over, I save it in case I need to braille islands or like something that has that would only need a small amount of braille on it. And so yeah, that's the process. I sleeve it up, put it in the Braille Writer, braille everything, and then cut it and put it on each sleeve. So it's pretty tedious, but that's the only way I could play, but it makes things a whole lot faster than like having to read it with my phone, for example. But you may be wondering, I guess, how do I describe this? Like what information to put on the card, because a lot of the cards have a lot of text. Well, similar to Pokemon, I pretty much have to memorize what all the cards do. The only thing I put on there are the name of the card, the mana cost, and then the type of card. So like if it's an instant, I'll put instant. If it's a creature, I'll put its power, toughness. If it's sorcery, I'll put sorcery, enchantment, equipment. You get the picture. But that way I keep it to 3 lines. It's like just a nice block of text, and it saves a lot of paper. I could put more information on it, but it would just take up a lot more paper. It would be harder to shuffle the cards, all that. But I do have examples of decks I have created. Let's see. So I mostly play Standard, and I've started getting into Commander. And so this is my standard Jeskai control deck. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can see the cards in there. Let's see. Let me take some out, and I could probably show some Braille. Okay, so like, right here, this is Deafening Clarion. I hope I'm pointing it at the camera. I'm kind of sitting at an angle on my bed, so it's kind of hard to tell. But that's Deafening Clarion, and part of the not the problem, but the challenge is trying to fit it all on the width of the card, because Braille takes up a lot of room. So I don't have the room to put deafening clarion across one line. I could put them, like one on top, one on bottom, but I just don't like how that would feel, or I guess you could say look or whatever. So I usually just use like one word in the card name to actually remind me what it is. So for this, I just put deafening, and then right below that, I just put the monocost, which is one generic, one red, one white, and then below that I put instant. And so I don't know if you guys can see, but it's just like a nice little block of Braille, nothing too intrusive. And that's pretty much what I do with all of my cards. Let me put this back in. And then I also just recently pretty much completed my Commander deck. And Commander, for those who do play Magic, is 100 cards. And Braille kind of makes the deck a bit bigger because, it's just that like extra millimeter of space. So like, if I don't know if you guys are able to see this, but like I can squeeze the bottom together and it's pretty normal, but the top is where it sort of flares out, because that's where all the Braille is. So like my decks sort of tend to be lopsided and whatnot. And when it comes to Commander, it's like that's 100 cards, so my decks are huge. Like I have to fit my entire Commander deck in this deck box. It's kind of complicated. I wish I just had like a deck box that held 200 cards, because that'd probably be like 100 or 150 of my Braille cards, but I have to use this sort of contraption. I don't really like it that much because 50 cards are sideways and 50 cards are right side up, so it kind of is a pain. But like you just kind of gotta roll with it if I want to play Magic. So I don't really mind it too much, but it would be nice. And then I have, let's see what else I have down here. And then I have my Commander. Let's see which way is. I believe that's right side up. Let me just make sure. I gotta pull this. Yeah, that's right side up. My Commander is Brago, King Eternal. For those who played Magic and who have played against him, they probably hate me now, but I love it. It's a fun deck. And then I also have my trade binder, and I don't really label any of these. I kind of just keep it to Sam to do all that. And then if I'm at like Friday Night Magic, because I have a bunch of cards in here, and it's just been a lot to maintain. So if I'm at Friday Night Magic, I'll just bring my trade binder and let people go through it and see if they want anything from it. But Sam does all the organizing because she's like really into that. Like she loves sorting cards. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I also, if I have cards that I don't use, I have deck boxes. I'm not gonna take them all out, but they're like long deck boxes in my nightstand, and I basically use all of those to sort by color, and then by let's see, how do I do? I just do it alphabetically. So I have one deck box for blue, one deck box for black, red, green, white, all that. And so yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. I probably would have a lot more sorting methods if my room weren't so tiny, but if I did, there would be cards everywhere. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let me know if you guys want to see any other types of videos in the comments. I'm open to suggestions, and yeah, thanks for you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.